As you all know, research in general terms means collecting information about something to take decisions, whereas a scientific research is an endeavor to discover facts by scientific method and is a course of a critical investigation. It is a structured way of learning and a systematic, organized way of looking at facts with certain objectives in mind. Now, we can define scientific research as systematic, controlled, empirical and critical investigation of hypothetical propositions about the presumed relations among natural phenomena. A research design is basically a blueprint of activities from the beginning of the research process till its completion, involving collection, measurement and analysis of data. Research design determines what and how the researcher hopes to find the best solution to the problem. It is about organizing research activity including collection of data. So, we can say it is a plan for conducting the proposed research work. A well thought out design helps in accelerating the research process in systematic manner by which time, cost and labor is saved. The design includes an outline of what the researcher will do, like what is the study about, why is the study being made, where will the study be carried out, what type of data is required, where can the required data be found, what periods of time will the study include, what will be the sample design, what techniques of data collection will be used, how will the data be analyzed, etc. Keeping in mind these questions, we can split the overall research design into 4 parts, such as sampling design, which deals with the method of selecting items to be observed for the given study, the observational design, which relates to the conditions under which the observations are to be made, the statistical design, which concerns with the question of how many items are to be observed and how the information and data gathered are to be analyzed. The operational design, which deals with the techniques by which the procedures specified in the sampling, statistical and observational designs can be carried out. In brief, we can say that research design must at least contain a clear statement of the research problem, procedures and techniques to be used for gathering information, the population to be studied and the methods to be used in processing and analyzing the data. Research design is needed because it facilitates the smooth sailing of the various research operations by which research yields maximum information with minimal expenditure of effort, time and money. Research design stands for advanced planning of the methods to be adopted for collecting the relevant data and the techniques to be used in their analysis. Preparation of the research design should be done with great care, as any error may disturb the entire project. Research design has a great bearing on the reliability of the results arrived at, and it constitutes the firm foundation of the entire edifice of the research work. The design helps the researchers to organize their ideas in a form where the flaws and inadequacies can be identified and there is a possibility for comments and critical evaluation. In the absence of such course of action, it will be difficult for the critic to provide a comprehensive review of the proposed study. After discussing the need for research design, let us discuss the features of a good design. A good design is often characterized by adjectives like flexible, appropriate, efficient, economical and so on. But generally, the design which minimizes bias and maximizes the reliability of the data collected and analyzed is considered as a good design. The design which gives the smallest experimental error is supposed to be the best design in many researches. Similarly, a design which yields maximal information and provides an opportunity for considering many different aspects of a problem is considered most appropriate and efficient design in respect of many research problems. So, we can say that the good design is related to the purpose or objective of the research problem and also with the nature of the problem to be studied. A design may be quite suitable in one case but may not be in the another case. One single design cannot serve the purpose of all types of research problems. A research design appropriate for a particular research problem usually involves the consideration of the factors such as means of obtaining information, the availability and skills of the researcher, objective of the problem to be studied, the nature of the problem to be studied, and the availability of time and money for the research work. A concept which can take on different quantitative values is called a variable. All concepts like weight, height, income are examples of variables. Qualitative phenomena or the attributes are also quantified on the basis of the presence or absence of the concerning attributes. Phenomena which can take on quantitatively different values even in decimal points are called continuous variables. But all variables are not continuous. Age is an example of continuous variable, but the number of children is an example of non-continuous variable. If one variable depends upon or is a consequence of the other variable, it is termed as dependent variable, and the variable that is antecedent to the dependent variable is termed as an independent variable. Independent variables that are not related to the purpose of the study but may affect the dependent variable are termed as extraneous variables. One important characteristic of a good research design is to minimize the influence or effect of extraneous variables. The technical term control is used when we design the study minimizing the effects of extraneous independent variables. In experimental researches, the term control is used to refer to restrain experimental conditions. When the dependent variable is not free from the influence of extraneous variable, the relationship between the dependent and independent variables is said to be confounded by an extraneous variable. When a prediction or a hypothesis relationship is to be tested by scientific methods, it is termed as research hypothesis. The research hypothesis is a predictive statement that relates an independent variable to a dependent variable. Usually, a research hypothesis must contain at least one independent and one dependent variable. The different components in the formulation of a research design are title of the research study. It should be as precise as possible, keeping in view of the objectives and scope of the study expressed as far as possible in generalized terms. Statement of the problem, its identification and formulation. The problem of the study is to be stated and posed in clear and precise terms. A brief review of literature is to be given along with the justification of how the present study would fill up the gap in the existing knowledge. The researcher has to study what prior research has been conducted and what results were obtained. In reviewing the literature, the researcher gains information about research methodology, study area frontiers and population, analysis techniques, etc. Reviewing the literature helps the researcher refine his study question, data collection method and instrument data analysis techniques. As the scientific enquiries differ in their geographical, temporal and functional dimensions, it is essential that the research design should specify the subject area and coverage of the study. both in respect of time and nature of data to be collected for the purpose. Objectives of the study are to be stated in precise terms of certain research questions for which answers are sought through scientific inquiries. Hypotheses are the product of the objectives of the study and should be stated unambiguously so that these can be rejected in the course of investigation to arrive at desired conclusion close to things observable and to the body of the theory. Any scientific inquiry is embedded with certain concepts, both formal and operational, which must be defined with utmost care beforehand to enable the investigators to pose proper questions to respondents and collect relevant information. There should be specification of measures and scales at the design stage with prior specification and information needs. Methods of data collection is an important aspect of any type of research study. Inaccurate data collection can have impact on the results of a study and ultimately can lead to invalid results. Data may be collected either from primary sources or from secondary sources depending on the need of research project, whether empirical or analytical. Information may be collected either on census or sample basis. Reasons for taking a decision on the matter depend on what is desired level of accuracy, which decides whether to go for complete enumeration or for a sample study. A sampling design refers to the method of selecting a sample to get a representative sample to estimate the desired population characteristic and to draw statistical conclusions. After collection of data, it is put into statistical analysis, keeping in view the objectives of the study and the constructed hypothesis for the purpose. Data are to be processed by methods such as classification, tabulation, and finding statistical derivatives. The researcher finally has to put his findings in a research report.